Greetings, everyone. Greetings, and thank you for tuning in to Chief Business Air, my channel, Javon L. Watson, where we talk about life, business, love, legacy, all of that stuff. And today we're talking about entrepreneurs, the game changers, the shakers, the people who go out on a limb, go out on the risk for people in the world. And I was on Facebook just now, and something said, you know what, that needs to be on your channel so people can always go back and hear that. And I'll just go over a few things that I was speaking about as it pertains to entrepreneurship and what entrepreneurs need in this season, in this time. And I'll pick up where I left off. When you decide to be a risk taker, that's everything in your life. That's love, that's family, that's security, that's everything when you decide to be a risk taker, an entrepreneur, a risk taker, to build something great. And you see the transformation that happens mentally first before it happens in the physical. Hold on to it. Because not everyone is going to respond to the thing you see that needs to change for everybody else, to benefit everybody else, and that's fine. And as I was stating then, in my book, Unfamiliar but Charted Territory, I speak on the end and the beginning. And what that means is I speak about what most entrepreneurs, as we enter into our journey to fulfill for the greater good, we have the same thought patterns and processes to a degree that, whether it was not the negative, I'm talking about the business concept of putting out a product for a return, and then whatever that person chooses to do with their return, that's something different. But what I choose to do with my return is reform, refine, and revitalize communities. This is the purpose of why my event advisor and everything that's connected to it is built. The reason why young CEOs exist, educating our youth in business, being sure they understand the intricate details on how to make and why to make a decision as it pertains to a family or parents working to attain something to pass down, and they have no idea how to keep it. All of this is very vital, but back to the entrepreneur with the vision, you set out to do something, you set out to be something. And I can explain this to you because I'm in the process. See, good God, always listen to people who've made it out of the process or who are in the process. Those who haven't entered the process yet, we can work with you just a little bit, try to pull you into the process, and that's who I'm targeting. The entrepreneurs who are ready to enter into the process. What is at risk? What is at stake? What can I potentially lose? There's a lot on the line. Am I ready for it? And let me tell you something. Whenever there's transference, whenever you're transferring something, at times there's spillage. Some things just got to fall out and got to fall off, because in your normal life as a working class citizen, a 9 to 5, and able to meet your bills on time and things like that, that's what that cycle looks like. You know, every product has a life cycle. Every industry has a life cycle. And I like to believe that every process within the process has its own life cycle as well. So when you come over to entrepreneurship and you just entered in, the entry point has a life cycle. It's not going to look how you've mapped out in mind. It's going to look, and at times it's not going to pan out how you think or believe or want it to pan out, and that is fine. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And the beauty of entrepreneurship is not just the lessons you learn along the way, the faces and the people you meet, the journey itself, but I do believe it's the reward. And now you can sit back and reflect on and look back and say, because that's the only way to measure the result, the worth of it. It's, you can see it mentally and you're ready to carry it out, and that's fine. But then when things are not responding the way you believe it should, why investors aren't moving quick enough, why people aren't believing in your vision. Sometimes, man, listen, I'm just gonna be honest with you, right? And I had a person tell me this before: why would I finance your vision when mine didn't happen? And there's some times where you have to sit back and you have to just call on someone higher than yourself for the understanding. And that's one thing my brother Brian always said, man, the understanding of people, and I used to always tell him, well, we understand them, why they don't understand us? That this needs to happen. I got some need to happen people that's watching this YouTube right now that was once watching that Facebook Live, that this need to happen because legacy on the line, generational wealth is on the line, but you're on the line as well, because in the process, we have to keep in mind the right counsel in each area. That's spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, financial, business. That's all the right counsel in each area. And I know you are blindsided sometimes on where to start because of the TikToks and Facebooks and reels and shorts that leave out the vital information that you gonna go through some stuff for a minute before that go out the way you want it to be, turn out the way you want it to be. And one of the main reasons is because everything has a qualification. Everything has a requirement. When you don't meet the requirement, when you're not qualified, it doesn't pertain to you. So you have to go and get qualified, certified, or whatnot in order to make it happen. And that's just something that's been kind of beating on my heart for entrepreneurs, especially first-time entrepreneurs in this season. I was saying on Facebook that, man, listen, just mathematically speaking, right? Support your next entrepreneur when you can. I know that when you're on a journey, when you're on a path, your funds seem to be tied up, tight. But listen carefully to what the person is bringing or presenting to you that can move you and your business forward. Let me talk to you about the event industry real quick. So, the event industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the U.S., multi-trillion-dollar industry worldwide, right? Now, let's just look at some of the people who play around in the industry, not to say any names, but some of the major heavy hitters in the industry making $300, $700, $1.2 billion. $700 million, $1.2 billion annually profit, right? And their communities and the way their systems are structured, their families and households are structured. And here we are in the black business, being black in business and building in the same industry here in Atlanta, Georgia, and telling people, listen, we have a shot to reform, refine, and revitalize communities in ways that we've never had before. And that's because we put the best product forward first. So it's difficult to speak on generational wealth or generational legacy and you're not a part of generational industry. So when I go back to legacy, like last week or week before that when I spoke on it, and the definition according to Google was that money or property that was left to a person is legacy, because that's a tangible thing that one could hold, right? But we who really study money and how it moves, we understand that money is a scarce resource, that it is not unlimited. There is a limit to it. And the more you chop at it and spend it, it goes down. It gets less. And you have to figure out a way to put that back. Now, my point here is that when you have a product that's put out, that we have a product that you put out that just keeps it residually coming in continuously, and utilizing and applying the tax code and strategies takes you to a different plane. And I'm not gonna really dig too much into that because there are some reasons I don't go as deep as I would love to go with you, first-time entrepreneurs or even seasoned entrepreneurs, But when a product is created and that product is a asset that continues to generate, that's when you're in the proper place, line for legacy. Can money or property be passed down and work and be suffice? For some, because of what the background is, where families once started. It can be more than what some people have left. But the event industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, my event advisor comes in and does what it does and structure the programs the way that we have outlined in the business plan for our people to go and do things and be greater. I speak a little bit about it in Unfamiliar but Charted Territory. I really don't go in on it because that's for the meeting I have with people who are serious about taking one thing like Mia and getting it where it needs to be and gathering other entrepreneurs and getting them where they need to be, and then gathering families of those entrepreneurs and teaching them how to keep what they gathered in the future so it can grow to be more and more and more and more and more and more. Excuse me. And there was no direction for this. It was just thoughts, you know, they're just thoughts. And I'm asking you, if you're watching this video, share it with someone that you believe who is serious about life, serious about change, and the only thing they have to do is buy the book Unfamiliar but Charted Territory and let me put the funds that come from my book into the lessons that further entrepreneurs, into the communities that further our children and our youth. You can also go to my page, find the link, the Young CEO, See Young CEOs link. And if you're in Atlanta, get your kids registered for See Young CEOs, man. We kick off November 2nd and we talk about, we have an introduction virtual meeting first, then we set the classes up that your children would be in, and we're gonna dive into LLCs, INCs, business planning, and all this stuff for 4 weeks in a way that they will have to come back next year, but that's good. But the level of knowledge from just my own personal experiences as the instructor, it's, oh man, I wish I could give you more. But those who really understand what I mean or want to give you more understand why I can't give you more at this moment. But your children would know so much just from my life and those who work with Seed, Small Entrepreneur Entity Development, Young CEOs. We're developing young CEOs, and it's gonna go, trust me, it's gonna go far, because we're gonna pour everything we have into them. So if you're an entrepreneur watching this, even if you're not, you're an aspiring entrepreneur, Amazon, Unfamiliar but Charted Territory. Get it and watch the movement that happens from you getting this. And I'm just gonna tell you what my goals are, just so we can see if we can get, because out of, I think it's 41.2 million blacks in the U.S. And I don't have a problem with my white brothers and sisters. I appreciate your support as well, or any other race, but I want to talk to the race that I am for a moment, and how these situations that we find ourselves in could easily be fixed, especially in families. I told you this is no direction for this. It's just the way this is coming right now. So I grew up in a poor neighborhood, poor family. Now, don't get me wrong, my grandmother worked, you know, then when I went into foster care, my foster parents worked and so forth and so on. I went to OK School, Highland Springs High School. So I was in marching band, saxophonist, and all that good kind of stuff, right? And the thing that no one ever said in all of my upbringing and all of the group homes that I went to, I think it was a total of Haven Youth Services, United Methodist, YFA, Youth Family Advocates. I mean, it's at least 7. I just got to remember all of them, right? And no one ever said the power of togetherness. Because in the group home, we have our own individual plans that or files and goals that each person must meet individually, and we're never taught to be together. So I grew up with this separation and families tearing down one another and people tearing down one another. And you realize that if you put the same effort and the same energy and the same force into togetherness and building up, you'll have just as much as you had when you were destroying people. And that's just the way the world works. So I talked to the 41.2 million blacks because I said I need 1,000 people to go to Amazon.com right now and buy Unfamiliar but Charted Territory and read it and leave a review, and let's build a nation. Let's talk to people and work them and put them in the positions that they need to be in. Let's do this. Let's get it out. Let's go and get it. So I call it. It's the same way that everybody's had a call to action. The call to action right now is 1,000. It's 1,000. 1,000 people to go to Amazon and buy Unfamiliar but Charted Territory, and you watch how things unfold over the next few weeks, and you're gonna know you were a part of it. You're gonna find in the story, let me show you something real quick. So in chapter 14, Be Aware, I have a section called How Can You Prepare Yourself? First, understand how the attack will come. They can target your character, credit, collateral, and capacity. When your character is under attack, others may speak poorly of you behind your back, trying to undermine your support network. This is common, especially when your efforts to your children are framing your dreams as a betrayal to your family or society. The truth is, we cannot provide for our loved ones without financial stability. When someone attempts to damage your credibility, money often becomes the weapon. So now let me show you something here. We're gonna reverse that, because sometimes when we use a thing for how it's meant to be used, guns were meant to use to protect people and defend. And sometimes we put that in the form of just killing and unnecessary killing. So don't misunderstand me here. Like, unnecessary killing is not necessary. To go and just shooting up people because you're upset and all that type of stuff. And while my mind went that way, I pray for the schools in Georgia that has been dealing with this, and across the country that has been dealing with this, and the parents who've lost anyone, or anyone who's lost anyone. My heart pours out for your family, and I'm a part of the solution. I'm a part of the solution because as long as I keep talking about it and others keep talking about it, we become solution minded. So this weapon, using this weapon, money, to build something great, to do something great. That's why I am calling on 1,000 entrepreneurs or non-entrepreneurs, more than 1,000 of work, but calling on 1,000 entrepreneurs to go and buy Unfamiliar but Charted Territory in the next 3 days. Buy it, order it. And I'm gonna do a live in about 7 days. I'm gonna do a live. I'm gonna put some messages out to see how many people have the book. And we're gonna discuss how to build something great. And you're already doing it, you've already started. And that's the beautiful part about it, you've already started. But now I am calling on other entrepreneurs who understand the situation of an entrepreneur to go and buy the book. And we're gonna do some great things in the world. And that's it. My topic today, you can just say, calling 1,000. That's what I'm going to title, calling 1,000. So if you watch this, if you've taken the time, I greatly appreciate you. I greatly send love your direction. I just appreciate you. Pass it on to another. Pass it on to as many people. And it don't have to be the video. It's, hey, listen, let's get together. Let's order this book and let's study it. Let's read it. And then let's join the movement of continuing to build something great. So that's all I have for you today. Now, I keep saying there was no direction. It's just something I woke up with on my heart. So that's that calling 1,000 to do this. And we're going to take and we're going to rise up. And you're going to see what my event advisor does in the world and attack these problems that we have. Because that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We're risk takers, and we find a need, and our only desire is to go and meet that need and help that family or help that group or that community become better. And there are times where you have to call on and know who to call on. I'm calling on entrepreneurs right now. I don't need anybody outside of that. I would like to have you, but I don't need anybody outside of that thought process who don't understand the risks that entrepreneurs take, the things that are on the line when we set out to build something that creates 10, 15, 20,000 jobs, that feeds 100, 200,000 families, and so forth and so on. So thank you, entrepreneurs. I already know you're going to do it. You can find the link to it in the description of this video. Hopefully, I remember to put it in there. But enjoy your day, enjoy your journey. Go to my website, javonlwatson.com. If you just want to click on something that leads you to the book and give you more on, there's a link at the bottom. Matter of fact, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll say. So you can do that. And I'll also put that website at the bottom as well. And I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate your support, and the future generations appreciate you, because we're about to do some things. Actually, we are doing some things, and I'll talk to you later. I greatly appreciate you for tuning in to Chief Business Head, Javon L. Watson's YouTube channel, where we talk about everything, man, and we have a good time while we do it. So thank you. Peace, love, and blessings.